Evening, everybody. I'd like to call the October 26, 2020 meeting of the L&A Committee to order. I would start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Jason Marsh.
Here.
Thomas Whitmore.
Here.
Ashley Gaudiano.
Here.
Eric Paulson.
Here.
Carl Massaro.
Here.
Steve Lemoyne.
Here.
Joy Colon.
Here.
And Tony Sinto.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we can get down to business. Given the scheduling needs of others, I would kindly ask for a motion to take resolution TC 28-113 out of order.
So moved. Ashley Gaudiano.
Do I have a second?
Second, Carl Massaro.
All right. Mr. Whitmore, would you please bring that resolution to the floor?
Thank you. Yes. Resolution TC 28-113. Be it resolved that funding for a labor agreement between the Town of Trumbull Board of Education and the Trumbull Administrators Association beginning July 1st, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2024 is hereby rejected.
Do I have a second?
Second. Ashley.
Thank you. If we are going to have discussion on this motion, then we will need to adjourn to a non-meeting meeting. I guess that's the correct term, a non-meeting. So Attorney Shopik, do we need a motion to do that?
I would move to go into recess.
All right, do I have a second?
Second, Tom Whitmire.
Is there any objection that we cannot do this unanimously? All right, seeing none, then we will adjourn, we will recess. How's that?
An invitation to that non-meeting meeting was just emailed to everybody.
Okay, great. So we will see everybody in the non-meeting meeting room shortly. Thank you. All right. Are we recording again? All right, so we are back from a non-meeting. I would ask for a motion to come out of recess.
Motion to come out of recess, Tom Whitmire.
Thank you, Tom. Can I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Carl.
Second.
So we are back in session at 7:23, according to my phone. We have a resolution on the table, resolution TC 28-113. I will, having not met, I would call for a vote on that motion, but I would remind the committee members that the motion is to reject the funding for the labor agreement. If you vote yes, you will be voting against the funding. If you vote no, you will be voting in favor of the funding. So with that, I would call for a vote on resolution TC 28-113 and ask the Madam Clerk to call the roll, please.
Jason Marsh.
No.
Thomas Whitmore.
No.
Ashley Gaudiano.
No.
Eric Paulson.
No.
Carl Massaro.
No.
And Steve Lemoyne.
No.
Motion fails.
Okay. I would ask now for a motion to take resolution TC 28-112 out of order.
Eric Paulson, so moved.
Have a second?
Second,
Tom
Carl
Whitmire,
Massaro.
second.
Thank you. Any objection? So Ms. Gaudiani, would you please bring resolution TC 28-112 to the floor?
Certainly. Resolution 2C 28-112 Be it resolved that the recommendation by the first selectman of the appointment of Andrew Lubin of 55 Killian Avenue be and the same is hereby approved as an alternate member of the Ethics Commission for a term extending to the first Monday of December 2021. 2/3 vote of the town council required.
Do I have a second?
Second, Tom Whitmire.
Thank you, Tom. Is there anyone here to speak on that resolution?
I don't know if, is Mr. Lubin going to be here tonight? Is that,
I don't see that. Mr. Lubin is already a member of the Ethics Commission.
yeah, I guess I can speak to what's happened here. We took a look at the membership of the Ethics Commission and realized that there were 4 Democrats on the Ethics Commission, which is contrary to the charter. So Mr. Lubin has resigned as a regular member, and First Selectman has recommended him to be reappointed or to be appointed as an alternate member so that we can solve that issue.
Okay, thank you. Seeing as Andy is not here, although I think we're all familiar with him, I would ask for a motion to pass this without recommendation until he's present at the full council.
Tom Whitmire, motion to pass without recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Ashley Gadiana, second.
Is there any objection to passing this unanimously? All right, seeing none, we will pass this without recommendation.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. It was my understanding that since Mr. Lubin had appeared before the council and had been interviewed for his appointment to a full seat, that it was thought that he need not appear at this time. If that's not the case, then we'll have to fix that.
Well, speaking for myself, I'm familiar with Attorney Lubin, both personally and professionally, and his service on the Ethics Commission. I would have no problem putting him to, up for a vote tonight, and I would ask the committee their thoughts on it.
I feel similarly. I don't need to interview Mr. Lubin again. We've appointed him once, and this is just correcting a mistake.
So if that's the case, and if there are no objections, I would take a motion to amend the motion to pass with recommendation.
First, you need the motion's been voted on, so you need a motion to reconsider. And then, or you can put it out the way it is and just everybody understand that it's not necessary for him to appear next Thursday night.
Apparently makes no difference. So
Yeah.
If you have unanimous consent for a motion to reconsider, there's no problem with that. And then somebody put forward a motion to recommend approval. I assume we
all
have
right,
unanimous
I'll
consent.
for it. Is there a motion to reconsider?
Eric Paulson, I'll move that we reconsider the motion.
May I have a second, please?
Tom Whitmire, second.
All right, so now we have a motion to reconsider. I would then ask for a vote on an affirmative yea or nay on.
Well, you need a determination
Unanimous
of the motion
consent.
to reconsider. So if you get unanimous consent for the motion to reconsider, then you can move to the vote.
Yeah,
We have unanimous consent?
we do.
Any objection? Okay, so now we are moving to a vote on resolution TC 28-112. All in favor?
Unanimous.
Unanimous? Okay, great. So that one passes with recommendation to the full council. I would now please ask for a motion to take resolution TC 28-114 out of order.
So moved.
I have a second, please.
Eric Paulson, I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Paulson, while you're there, would you please bring resolution TC 28-114 to the floor?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Resolution TC 28-114. Be it resolved that resolution TC 27-55, adopted by the town council on April 2nd, 2018, as amended by the town council by resolution TC 27-80 on July 2nd, 2018, is hereby further amended by adding 5 members to the sustainability team, 1 member from the Trumbull Nature and Arts Center, 3 members of the community, and 1 town council member. Be it further resolved that the town council member shall be appointed by the town council chairman.
I have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Massaro. Is there someone here to speak on the resolution?
I'm unmuting. Yes, so basically I got on the committee about a year ago and.
Mary, just introduce yourself so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Dan. Mary Isaac, and I can't get back on there. So Mary Isaac, I did join the committee about a year ago. This is a huge undertaking by the town. There's a lot of, basically the Connecticut, the Sustainable Connecticut Group. There are so many committees that are going on this for trying to get a status for silver, for bronze. For us, we are attempting to get a bronze level certification for sustainability. And we have a very small group that have been working on this. And so we're trying to expand that group. Our members that have been attending the meeting for the last year are all volunteers pretty much. So we're actually asking to expand, and everybody has their own level of expertise. We have some people that are great on the level of bringing recycling, and some that are bringing other areas that are important in the nature center. So we're just hoping to like not make this like a tiny kind of an effort, and hoping that we can expand these 5 extra members. So hopefully we'll be able to do that right now.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Ms. Isaac?
I have a question, Jason, if it's okay.
Sure, Tony.
It's Tony. How many people are on the committee now? So I'll just give you all the questions at once. How many people are on the committee? Do you have quorum problems? And what's the makeup of the committee?
Okay, so I guess I should say part of it, and I apologize being kind of vague about it, but when I started, I came onto the committee and it's a team, so it's not actually a committee. One of the ways that it was on, there's somebody who was from the Trumbull Nature and Art Center. There are certain people that were on there from the Conservation Commission. So the way it is now, we actually don't have anyone that is on the committee other than one person who has been very busy because of COVID. So he hasn't been on there. So what we're trying to do now is expand this committee to allow for enough people that we've got 2 from Conservation. We've got 1 from the Trumbull Nature and Art Center. We hopefully have 1 from us, from our group. And we also have a group of volunteers that we've got. 1, the expertise, as I said, we've got about 4 volunteers that have been amazing that have come on, some of which have been working with the band. They've been coming up to the high school and they've been doing recycling. It's basically, when you look at it, it's a lot of towns are trying to get this certification. It's a really, really hard thing to do. It's taken months and months of work. I was actually shocked at the amount of time that I spent on it myself for doing this. When you look at it, it's, as I said, it's the Nature and Art Center. It's looking at what we do for the communications in Trumbull. It's looking recycling. It's looking shrink pack, packaging. It's sustainability for multiple things. So we don't actually have that. Again, it's a team. It's not a commission. And most of the people on here have been volunteers. They want to make sure that they're being on here, they're able to do the right thing and working towards this, and that we are able to get certification and that they are able to be at the table. You're muted, Tony, sorry.
Sorry. If it was a team and not a committee, was a committee ever established?
I wasn't part of this in the beginning. This was the town council. I'm not sure if you were on at that time when this group was, put out there. 2000, there were 2 different resolutions that were put out there. This was a team, not a commission, not a committee.
Well, then if you,
So-
then you need to, then if you're gonna put 5 people on it, you need to make a committee. Correct?
No,
Where's
it's
Dan-
a,
Isn't Dan
it-
around? He could ask that question.
Yeah, Dan is around. Here I am. I don't know why specifically you need to create a committee if this.
So we have committees for everything. So now we're not gonna
Well,
have one for this one?
You could have a committee. I'm not saying you can't have a committee. I'm saying that's not, this was established in 2018 under a particular state statute. And I'd have to look at that state statute to see. My understanding was that it talked about the sustainability teams, but if somebody wants to come back and create a town committee, we could look at that in the future.
yeah, this was, sorry, Mary Isaac. This was basically, most towns have, not most, but there's about 100 different areas in Connecticut that are looking into this. So they are not per se the same thing as we do have the Conservation Commission or the, Trumbull Town Council. They are different types of working groups. Most towns, they have this now. If you want to look on actually Facebook, go on to Fairfield, Westport, Weston, Wilton. There's a lot of different groups that are on there and they are really pushing this. It's a really important incentive, but they are very different from a formed committee that is part of the town government. They're more an offset of this. And they're working hard. We're still kind of, I would say, in the infant stage of it. And we've had, one of the reasons I said that we're adding this extra number of people is because there are interested people. I got on this because I said, what is this group like looking into, like getting rid of straws, in town? I mean, it's a group that's put out there. As I said, it's not an official organization like a commission, but I think it's hugely important. I love being on the committee. Everybody that's on here has been working their tails off on this, and they have not been, I don't want to say not acknowledged, but they want to make sure that we are able to be a part of the committee that is going forward, because when this was designated, the way it ended up, it was a 2 from the Conservation Commission and Rob, LaBrandy, and 1 economic development. There was no way for the amount of things that are going to be accomplished under this group, you could do it with that number of people. So we're like thrilled that we have extra people on here. Again, not a commission, it's a team. So we're just hoping that these people will be acknowledged, able to do what they're going to do and move forward.
And last question, if you don't mind. Who do you report the information to?
This is supposed to go to town council. It started, the town council is the one that implemented this in the originally. We were actually set to, and again, I didn't start from the beginning, but we're going to report to the town council, and then COVID hit. So that kind of stopped everything. We have been meeting, I see Vicky, but we have been meeting via Zoom, working, doing everything, and hope to next week is going to be, the committee will be presenting to council and Vicky.
If I could, Vicky Tesoro for Selectmen. I believe when this team was created, it was created following what the statute, under the statute. So that's the way, it needs to be created as to what the statutory language is behind it.
Dan, do you know what the statute is?
Offhand, I do not. I can get it for you, though.
That'd
If
be
you look-
super. Thanks.
Tony, I think if you go back to the minutes of April 2nd, 2018, I think those questions were dealt with there. So you may find that in either in the minutes or the backup to the agenda. And then
Okay,
if you're still looking for it, let me know. But it's my recollection is that was discussed at the time.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Sure.
this is Cindy Katsky. There's a state website or a website, sustainablect.org, and under the tab municipal support, It talks about how to form your sustainability team. And there are quite a few options. You can take a pre-existing committee, say, or a commission, say, we could have taken our Conservation Commission and designated that commission as the sustainability team without renaming them, but they would just take on that task. Or you could appoint members, or they could be solely volunteer. So we did follow the model resolution template that is provided on the website. And it was thought that it would be good to have stakeholders from a couple of different locations, such as economic development. The feeling was it wasn't all conservation related. There are different aspects to it. And that's, I think, what partially what this resolution is doing, is bringing in someone from the Nature and Arts Center, because there's a lot of knowledge there that could really be helpful. And these volunteers that have stepped up and have been coming to the meetings, even though they technically have not been members of this team, they've been able to help. And this would give them more of a seat at the table. So that's a good resource for you to look at too for more information.
Yes, sorry, Mary, to add to what Cindy's saying, part of the group is basically I was looking at arts, cultural preservation, town communications. So certain things that I had knowledge about looking into. Someone that came in as a volunteer, her thing was solar energy savings, working with the town on that. Somebody else recycling with the kids, also using town resources that way. So it is, it is kind of a multitask thing. There's also areas where we can get grant funding, which is one of the reasons that this is being pushed, which is, I shouldn't say pushed. This is a great thing, I think, that we're doing for sustainability efforts, but it also does allow us to garner, from that issue as well, to get grant funding. So it's also a nice way to kind of levy that as well.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, I would then call for a vote on resolution TC 28-114. Is there any objection to making this a unanimous vote?
No.
No, hearing
And
none.
Demi.
So will be passed unanimously. Okay, so we have one item left, and Mr. Massaro, would you please bring resolution 28-111 to the floor, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution TC 28-111, be it resolved that the purchase and sale agreement for the acquisition of real property known as 16 Hardy Lane, 19 Hardy Lane, 26 Hardy Lane, 29 Hardy Lane, and 38 Hardy Lane, Trumbull, Connecticut is hereby approved. And be it further resolved that First Selectman Vicky A. Tesoro is hereby authorized to execute any agreements or take any necessary steps to complete the acquisition.
Do I have a second?
Second, Ashley Gaudiano.
Thank you, Ms. Gaudiano. If there's going to be any discussion on this resolution, I would ask for a motion to go into executive session.
I would request executive session.
Do I have a second?
Second, Ashley Gaudiano.
All right. Is there any objection to making a unanimous vote to go into to executive session? All right. Hearing
You
none.
designate who's going to be there, Jason?
Well, it's going to be the L&A committee, Attorney Shopik, First Selectman Tesoro. I believe those are the parties that are allowed to be in executive session.
And the council chair can be there also.
Yay! Mary Beth, please join us.
You have to state the reason why.
Reason why? Because she's an ex officio member of the committee.
No.
No,
for
we're
the
entering executive session to discuss an ongoing contract that's being negotiated. Mr. Chin, can we use the same link we used for that other breakout room?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you may use that same link.
All right, so committee members and those invited to executive session, please use the link we use for the non-meeting meeting. We're good? All right. So we are, we have come out of executive session. The vote was taken at 8:05. Motion by Carl Massaro, seconded by Ashley Galliano. It was unanimous. We'll now call for a vote on resolution TC 28-111. Is there objection to passing this unanimously? Hearing none. I believe.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay, so resolution TC 28-111 is passed by unanimous vote. That concludes our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
moved.
Ashley Gadiano.
All right,
Second, Tom
Tom
Whitmore.
Whitmore, and I believe that will be unanimous as well. I see no one waving their hands frantically to stay in. All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Jason.
We will, Carl, I'll let you know when that link is available for document.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Night.
Thank you, everybody.
Night, everyone.